Candace Owens, look, whether she really has turned a corner or not, this statement to me is very important as it relates to what's going on in Gaza.
About the life of children, innocent children slaughtered, the numbers now above tens of thousands of children that have been slaughtered, is not only an American value, it's a conservative value, it is a Christian value. And to the hypocrites and the spineless people who can't say that, they have no place in our future government. I truly do believe that. And that's why I say this unabashedly. I just can't believe, I cannot believe what I am seeing today of people pretending this is about anti-Semitism. Like, if somebody else was in there, no one would be saying anything. Like, yeah, no, I'm sure if Putin was in Israel and had murdered 20,000 children, everyone would just be chill, because this is really just about the fact that they're Jewish. I mean, it is just mind-blowing. It really is. The dishonesty, the deception, the Western media smearing and libeling anybody who has a soul and the decency to say that children should not be murdered like this. Water should not be cut off. Electricity should not be cut off. You have Doctors Without Borders saying they've never seen anything like this. They went over there. They've been in multiple war zones, saying that, writing pieces, op-eds, saying this is not a war zone. This is not a war zone. This is a genocide.
I also completely reject the term humanitarian crisis, and fuck every person with a talking head that uses the phrase humanitarian crisis. This is not a humanitarian crisis. That's what you say things like after a hurricane or an earthquake, things that's a humanitarian crisis, a drought. You know, that's a humanitarian crisis.
My guess is that when this really started heating up around November, December, right around when it was obvious what they were doing. And she probably confronted Shapiro and Rubin and just said, you guys are seriously going along with this? And she probably, for the very first time, being in this part of the conservative media echo chamber,
the Zionist portion,
she probably experienced bigotry in a way that she had never experienced before.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Zionists are bigots. So the only
transparent bigots.
Yes. But the only reason she had never really experienced it before is they really saw her as one of theirs, at least somebody that was on their side. So they weren't they had no reason to really expose themselves to her in that way. But as soon as she wasn't on their team, now she was probably, I mean, I can only imagine how they treat. And again, I am by no means a Candace Owens supporter or fan. I have never liked her. And with the exception of Gaza, I don't think I've ever agreed with her about anything.
Because this is the particular issue where she remembered that she's a Black woman in America around certain people that will never accept her. They will use her for the amount of money they can make off of her. And this is not to say that there isn't a contingent within conservative media that truly is just about America first. They don't see color, they don't see race, creed, any of that. And I do believe that that 1000% exists. But I also believe that Ben Shapiro is one of the biggest scum-sucking pieces of shit in all of media. Like, he is a pathetic excuse for a human being. And he's the total beta male cuck that we always talk about. He would never pick up a weapon to defend this country.
He wouldn't know.
He would always push the button.
Yeah, and
put people to death.
And the thing about her is, and again, I've never liked her before, but let's say hypothetically this was an awakening for her and really seeing things for her. Well, I have to be somewhat welcoming of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, good. And I do appreciate her using her platform, whatever that is. I'm sure it's big.
And they love her.
I know. I was going to say, it's like, I'm sure her platform is really big, and I'm glad that she's using it for this. And it clearly matters to her. She's clearly very affected by this.
Her biggest support network by far is white men. Like, it's so obvious. You read the comments, you see the channel.
I would think so. I would think so.
Now it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in 2 months.
I agree with her, though. Can I, as somebody, and I'm an atheist, and I've always been one, but I understand religion. I've studied religion. I understand it very well. And I really cannot think of anything more unchristian than massacring basically the descendants of Jesus. Like I really can't. Like, so I get that. And I think from her, it might be from that angle, which is fine. However, you come to the realization that this is all
whatever brought her here, I think is
Yeah.
perfectly acceptable, because ultimately she is a powerful voice.
Good.
And she walked away from a lot of money in order to say, no, I can't do this. Like, this is crossing the Rubicon. I'm not going to do it. Like, I cannot be a Christian and go to sleep at night knowing that you, Ben Shapiro, are facilitating the genocide with the Daily Wire, which he is doing.
And really, if you think about it, the term Christian Zionist is an oxymoron. Actually, it's kind of like how I always say Jews for Jesus, but like it really is. Because if you're truly a Christian person, Christ-like consciousness Christian person, you would not be able to go along with the concept of an ethno-supremacist state, a white ethno state. Like, you just, it wouldn't suit. And certainly not massacring all of Jesus's people.
Ron McKinnon and Jen Perelman, I just have, first of all, Jen, you're a really terrible Jew. I just have to put that out there. You do not represent us.
Too much Lindsey Graham.
You cannot, listen, you cannot speak for us. You are not part of our tribe. You're out. I'm taking your Jew card away. You're not allowed to have it anymore.
Oh my God, he is
the Jews
so
are the most
bad.
persecuted people on the planet right now. I don't want to hear anything about how we're committing a genocide. We are not. We have the right to defend ourselves. Bibi Netanyahu is not a war criminal. The Hague is terrible.
Oh, you said Netanyahu. We haven't even gotten to dip into the...
I did say Netanyahu. He is a hero of mine.
Okay.
I appreciate everything that he's doing.
Netanyahu, ace of diamonds. Ace of diamonds. We have ace of diamonds. Okay, I'm playing. War criminal poker.
Like, he needs to be strung up by, like, he needs the biggest wedgie in the history.
He is one of, this is someone who, like, if he went to our camp, he would have had a swirly like every single day.
Oh, and he would have deserved it.
Every single day of his life.
But that's the problem with guys like that.
Porcelain.
Well, because he probably did, and that's why when guys like that get positions of power, especially short beta male cuck men that get power, and he wears that fucking yarmulke on his head.
Okay, but you know what though? I have to think of somebody. Is there must be somebody out there that isn't a total like that wears a yarmulke. We're gonna have to find somebody that wears a yarmulke.
All I know is that he's not, if not the worst. So,
yeah, he's pretty bad.
And remember,
he's a very bad representation of the tribe.
And he is connected to a lot of money and a lot of power, and that is the only reason why we have to suffer through him.
All right, so we will then platform Candace, which I never thought I would do.
We'll keep going.
Everybody's just conspiring to hate Jews. I mean, it's pointedly ridiculous, and it is really telling when even Israeli publications are saying that calling this anti-Semitism is a joke. It just is a joke. And I am proud of myself for being on the right side of this thing. And I'm embarrassed. I am so embarrassed that I ever had anything to do with the woke right. I didn't know they were woke on this issue. Like, it took October 7th and all of this happening for me to see their true colors. And I am so embarrassed I had anything to do with these people. I really am. And I will not allow them to forget this. I will not allow them to forget that they stood on platforms, called themselves pro-life, called themselves anti-woke, collected money, went out to donors, asked for investments. And then when it actually mattered, they shirked. They shirked their responsibility. They completely cowered. And to think that the majority of people are men, it's even more sickening to me, to be honest with you. It's even more sickening.
طيب اليوم هو يوم الطفل العالمي. أنت إيش بتعرفي عن حقوق الطفل؟
ولا حاجة.
I will never get Hind Rajab's voice out of my head, her calling them to come and get her from the car.
Or the guy who was burning alive in the hospital.
There's so, like, I'm never getting over this, and I'm never gonna, like, it's changed everything.
And Colin lives in Northeast Texas, where Christian Zionism is very powerful. Joel Osteen, Houston,
right.
Texas.
Point being, though, and it's inherently anti-Semitic. Zionism is totally anti-Semitic. We're living in a bizarro world. Up is down, down is up.
Well, I think that Candace feels secure in her position where she actually believes in herself and doesn't feel that she needs the anchor of the Daily Wire in order to make her living, that she feels that even if it is going to be a sacrifice.
She also has the privilege of not having probably to worry about it.
Oh, probably not. No, she's been, listen, Candace has been around for a number of years now.
Like, no, not just that, but I mean, I don't think that, like, she's not worrying about how she's going to keep a roof over her head.
Well, let's see what she's willing to do once Trump takes the oath. Because this is going to, if there is an issue that needs to be at the forefront, the second he takes that oath, it's this issue.
But I'm almost scared for that because I know the direction that that's going to go in, and it's not good.